Salutations, passengers! I'm One.
One.
By the looks of it, this must be the Comic-Con car.
I can only imagine this car was devised as some sort of punishment. Lured by the promise of free toys, you were unwittingly forced to stand in line for 1,000 hours just to be crammed into a people warehouse. What unspeakable crime did you all commit to warrant this?
Whatever it was, I'm glad you did it, because it's an utter delight to see all of you this fine day. This truly is one of the most amazing cars I've encountered on this train.
Definitely better than the fart car.
We have such a surprise for you today. You incredible folks get to see the exclusive premiere of, drumroll, the very first episode of Infinity Train!
Oh, yay. You can be subdued into forgetting how innately horrible the universe is for an entire quarter hour. Don't worry, it'll still be waiting for you afterwards.
Enjoy the show!
Hi, everybody. You guys excited? My name is Charles Pulliam Moore, and welcome to the Infinity Train panel at San Diego Comic-Con. So we have a fantastic group of people here to talk to you about what you just saw. You guys ready? You guys hype? All right, so first up, we have the creator and voice of Sad One, Owen Dennis. All right. We also have supervising director, Maddie Kurapel. We have the voice of Glad One, Jeremy Crutchley. And we have the voice of Atticus, the king of Corginia, Ernie Hudson. So even though you guys have just seen the first episode, I feel like there's still so much about Infinity Train that you just really want to unpack, and who better to talk to about the series than these people up here. So we're just going to get right into it, yeah? I want to start with you, Owen.
Yeah.
What's up?
Hey.
You're a Cartoon Network vet at this point. You know, you've got mad experience. I think a lot of people know you from your work on Regular Show.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So, before everyone had a chance to see the first episode, I think that there was only so much that you could say about Tulip's backstory.
Yes.
Now that, you know, everyone sort of knows where she's at, talk to me about how you sort of came up with who she is. Like, talk to us about Tulip, and yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Hey, everybody. How you doing? So, the whole concept for Infinity Train in general happened when I was... These stories are going to sound kind of like, oh, I thought there was going to be some sort of like magical element to this, but no. I woke up on a plane when I was over an ocean, and I was looking around, and I was like, oh, everybody's looking into screens, and this is creepy and weird, and that's it. I was like, oh, this is unsettling. I can make a show about that. And it's just this sort of unsettling feeling that I enjoy. And so Tulip sort of came from needing to explain like how is this train sort of functioning. So you have this train where everything's sort of, you know, these infinite universes and different universes inside of each train car. And you're sort of like, well, what person would best would have the most to learn from going onto a train that has all these different universes, and it doesn't make any sense, and it's very strange. So you need someone who's like extremely logical and straightforward thinking, because that's the person that would have the biggest, opposite from what you're looking at. So yeah, that's kind of the genesis of Tulip, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think like just looking at the title card, and when you hear that musical note, you get the immediate eerie vibe that like the show is going for, and it feels like so fresh and new, especially like for Cartoon Network. Like I feel like we're all Cartoon Network fans. We like the happy, fun, bright things, and then Infinity Train comes in, it's like, get ready. It's going to be heavy. Talk to me about the influences that really sort of fed into how you wanted like the energy that you wanted for the show.
A lot of people that I know sort of got like sort of inspired by, you know, anime and things like that. But when I was growing up, I didn't get as much. There's when I was growing up, I actively hated anime. I was wrong. It was a bad decision. Boo me, it's okay, do it, because I was wrong. But I was.
He's reformed. It's okay.
I'm better now. But I was into Myst, which was a video game from the early. Two people. I was into Myst, which was it was like this. For those of you who don't know what Myst is, it was a game. It was a point-and-click adventure game where you sort of solve puzzles, and it was very steampunky, and it was from the early '90s, and it was very cool. And so me being the age that I was when I discovered it, that was like a huge influence. And I used to take the note cards that I was supposed to write notes for in science class and stuff, and I would draw pictures and be like, oh yeah, if you clicked this on this note card, that would take you into this other room, and then I'd draw what the inside of that room would look like. So I had that. So I was I liked Myst and Doctor Who as a kid, and
which Doctor Who? Where's your?
Tom Baker was my Doctor Who. Yeah. So Tom Baker was mine. I really liked his scarf, and I really liked. I really liked Tom Baker. He was my doctor, and I remember with Doctor Who, the way that I discovered Doctor Who was just on a bunch of VHS tapes that my family had recorded off of TV. Because what happened is my parents, my dad was working in one place, my mom was working somewhere else, and they would not see each other, but they wanted to watch Doctor Who. They would watch Doctor Who together. So sometimes they weren't able to do that. You'd have to record it off of TV. So my dad would record it and then write Doctor Who, and then when they showed up together again, they'd pop the tape in and they'd watch the Doctor Who episodes they missed together. But as a kid, I didn't understand that's what had happened. So I was watching random episodes from from 10 years of time of these completely disparate and I'd have to figure out what the story was myself, and I was 4. I didn't know. It was really difficult.
Yeah, it's really coming together.
Yeah, all right, yeah. There's a minotaur, and there's a redheaded guy who got stuck in a car crash. Yeah, these things all make sense. They're all connected. I get it. It was crazy, but that was one of the first things I could learn to read, which was DRWHO, which my dad wrote on the side of the tapes and stuff. So those are some of my bigger influences, I think.
Switch gears for a second and talk about 1-1, or at least half of 1-1. Let's talk about Sad One. Who is Sad One? Existentially, who is he?
Well, that's me, the one on the right. The one on the left is, I don't know who that is. We generally refer to them both as 1-1. We say Sad One, Glad One, just because it's easier to say it when you're recording lines and stuff.
Yeah, writing a script or something.
Yeah, but they're the same person. They're just sort of two sides of one coin.
Just like us.
Yeah, exactly. We're two completely. Yeah, that's exactly.
I'm the line that goes down the middle.
Exactly. Yeah. He's he's just kind of morose. He's a downer guy. That's kind of not much to it. He's a downer guy.
We've described him as an angsty teen.
Yeah. Yeah, kind of a goth. Yeah, he's the goth that's in my heart that I don't wear outside.
When Owen paused for a second there, Maddie, you gave him a knowing look, which makes me want to ask, you guys went to college together. Talk to me about your backstory. Talk to me about your creative friendship.
Yeah. It's actually funny. We went to college together, and yet we didn't really see each other at all. We had one class together. It was a screenwriting class. And but also you were roommates freshman year with my current boyfriend, Toby Jones, who I also met at MCAT. So it's really weird that we had these connections, and then it wasn't until many years later, it's
bizarre.
Owen. Yeah, I remember that guy.
Yeah. I honestly did not know how to pronounce Maddie's last name.
Nobody does.
Until I met her and slowly waited for people to tell me how to pronounce his name.
Madeline.
Carrie Pell. It's Carrie Pell.
I feel like this is a question for both of you guys. Everyone who's in this room, I feel, is here because they saw that first glimpse of Infinity Train ages ago, yeah? And it's one of those instances where something goes up on the internet and then everyone hears about it and then you don't hear about it, and yet the hype was still going. What do you think about it? What do you think about the premise of the show itself, that makes people so game to be like to get onto it.
Yeah, I think a lot of it has to do with the actual infinity element of it, and like you really have no idea what's going to happen. And I think that Pilot does a really great job of introducing so many different things that are like, well, what does that mean? Well, what does that do? Oh, does that relate to, well, what is that? And it's just, it gives you all these threads, and you so desperately want to like close off, like what does it all mean? It's very lost in that way, but yeah, I think it does a great job of introducing a bunch of elements that really spark people's imagination, and I think people want that conclusion to it. Yeah.
You don't voice a character on the show, but like if you had your druthers and your dizziest daydreams, what kind of character would you voice? What kind of character and like what kind of world on a train would they be from?
I like to voice someone kind of hoity-toity or fancy. I think that would be a lot of fun. Yeah, this is a character design that is somewhere in the show. You'll see it someday. Yeah. But I did have blue hair at some point, so it is more accurate than you're thinking. But yeah, I think if I could voice a character, it'd be someone sort of fancy and hoity-toity. Yeah.
You do a good job at that.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
I want to talk about Glad One, but before we do that, I want to, it's a bit of a two-parter, because you guys are, linked in the show. You voice Glad One, Jeremy, but Owen, I want to talk about casting. Like when you look at Jeremy's like resume, you don't necessarily think like, oh, he would be great to play an effervescent, ebullient, happy robot. We're looking at Doomsday, Lord of War, Black Sails, and Hannibal, and like Glad One. Sure, why not? But what is it like? What is it about Jeremy's performance that really just spoke to you?
So when I'm listening to casting, what happens is I lie on my bed with my laptop. And I lie down and I just sort of click through like auditions. And I did that with both Ernie and Jeremy. And
Careful now, careful.
No, it's okay, it's good. No, it's a good story. It's a good story. It's good.
It has a happy ending. You're here.
Yeah. Basically what happened was I would listen to all these different performances, and all of them were very, like one's kind of like, they played them as kind of stupid. One isn't stupid. He's just kind of naive. And so something that I really enjoyed about Jeremy's performance in the audition was that his reads were like one's thinking. He's just saying stuff that it doesn't work. So like one can think. It's what actually comes out doesn't make any sense. Yeah. So like there were like these pauses, and it sounded thoughtful. I guess that's what I was into, as they sounded thoughtful even though what he was saying was absurd.
I'm hugely relieved.
Yeah. We have a quick plot twist, actually. Surprise, surprise, everyone. The voice of Tulip Van Helsing, Ashley Johnson, happens to be here. We would very much like to bring her out.
Hi guys.
Hey.
Hey, sorry I'm late. This is me.
How you doing? How you feeling?
Say again?
How you feeling?
I feel good. I've been up for a long time. I think it's like over 24 hours now, so it's a really good sort of like hallucination stage.
It's a great time to be on stage for 1,000 people.
We were just talking about what about Jeremy's performance really spoke to Owen and sort of like nailed, sort of like made it immediately apparent that he had to be Glad One. And now I want to ask the same about the two of you. What about Ashley's performance? Was like, oh yes, she is Tulip. Like she is the Tulip that we need.
Ashley was actually the first person, I don't know if you know this, you're actually the first person that I thought of when I was like, oh yeah, Tulip, that's the person. It was because I was when I was thinking of like, what's Tulip sound like? I was like, I don't know, I know what she sounds like, I just can't figure it out. And I played a video game that, I don't know, you might have heard of, it's called Last of Us. Yeah. And I was like, oh, that's her, got it. All right, great. And so I requested that she try it, and it worked out perfectly, and I loved it.
I did not know that.
Yeah, well, now you do.
Who is Tulip? I asked this a little bit earlier, but now that you're here, I want to ask, like, is you the person who inhabits her in your mind? Like, what kind of person is she?
Oh boy. Well, I just to start out, I throughout the course of recording this show, I'm outrageously obsessed with this cartoon. Like I every time I've gone in, I've been like, when's it coming out? Like I need to know. Like I really want to watch it. I really love it a lot. And I would feel that way even if I were not a part of it. Like I'm so excited for you guys to see it. But I think for Tulip in particular, I was very much drawn to this character because she's just different, and she's kind of into some, weird and fun things, and she's just also kind of normal, and it's I feel so lucky that I get to play her, and the stuff that we've done throughout the course of the episodes, and the writing is so good, and I just like there have been a lot of themes that we tackle in the show. I don't know how much you guys have talked about. I won't give anything away, but we've dealt with some pretty heavy stuff, which is cool too. Which is pretty cool.
Yeah. Let's pivot from heavy and go back to light. Jeremy, Glad One. What's his deal? Why is he so him?
Yes, Glad One. First of all, let me just backtrack a little bit just to carbon daters here as part of the same thing. My doctor was the first Doctor Who, William Hartnell.
Oh, really? Wow.
And then the second one, Patrick Troughton, when he took over. And I used to watch that show on a black and white TV, the opening sequence. Indirectly, this will lead to Infinity Train. I would cower behind our sofa in Dartford, in England, and with that opening, kind of thing, and all that was done with the BBC Radiophonic Workshop, and that excitement and fear, and I can't wait for the next thing, and I glued to watch it from that young age, connects in a complete and uninterrupted arc to the pleasure that I also take, and I think we all do, in a natural excitement and link to the fun that we have in Infinity Train, where there's this, maybe the music has changed a little bit, but in fact, one of the things I'm jumping around all over the place. One of the things I love is the fact that I can do a specific direction, tuneless singing, which suits me perfectly. Anything works. And the unexpected, the sequence of, as you were saying, what can possibly happen next, probably will, and the sheer diversity of it. So I hadn't really thought about that until you mentioned the Doctor Who thing, and I thought, yeah, that's part of the source of where you draw things from. So for Glad One, it's although my instinct when I was auditioning for it, and I played both parts because I'm one of those actors, I'll play everything. I was attracted by that split personality, that thing that you are both, I can't stand this, I've got to be up. And I thought I was more likely casting for the part that you play so damn well.
That you swooped in and grabbed out from under
great
him.
double act. and I wanted to, but I had to sort of kind of fight that and fight intellect. I'm always looking for, maybe there's more in there, and maybe that was my thinking stuff. And happily I didn't overthink that one, and it came to be. So this little guy sparks off things in me going way, way back, and that I can bring into the present. Every time we're doing these recording sessions, I just go in with that feeling like, oh my God, you're just going to be presented with so many more electric moments and surprises that are just beautifully crafted, and it's like being in an animated kind of Dali surreal thing that just got to my humor. It seemed like all those things from the Goon Show through Python, through Verona Martin's laughing, all the comedy stuff had a natural kind of flow to this, and I've just connected. So I was really happy when you said yes. That was my short answer.
Ernie Hudson, I feel like you're a man who needs no introduction, so like, let's just hop right into it. So like, aside from 1-1, who can, you know, depending on what they're feeling like, be either really helpful or just like detrimental to the mission, Atticus is really sort of seems to come off as like the voice of reason within within the team. What kind of energy do you think that he brings to the team, aside from being, you know, a monarch? Like, what role does he play as a part of the trio?
Well, you know, I'm not sure. Corgis are, and it's kind of an interesting breed, and so I was kind of curious about that, you know, to be able to try to get into a dog's psyche and recognize it's a dog and not a person, and you know, he's a king, you know. I kind of like the idea of being king, period. Any kind of king works for me. So yeah, I was curious from the beginning, and still curious, still trying to find where that is. I love the bravery and yet the caution and the mix of, you know, all that I saw in the script that I see in my dog. You know, my dog is very brave, but he'll bark over his shoulder while he's running away, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, but it was just a lot of fun.
Yeah. So this is for everyone, now that everyone's been introduced, I want to get a bit of interplay with you guys. What are the parts of the series that really kind of speak to you on like an emotional level? Like, I feel like in the pilot, or rather the first episode alone, there are so many emotional beats that pretty much everyone in the audience is like, oh yeah, I can see myself in Tulip and having her depression about what her parents are going through. So like, what for all of you guys really sort of jumped out and like hit you hard?
Can I just chip in on one thing there? And it's an accolade for Ernie and Ashley when I've been, you know, running down or whatever or confused. There's a comedy gold moment. It's in the pilot where on this quest, on this search, Tulip tries to get Atticus out of the door. And it's just brilliantly played, and it's that lovely state you were just talking about, and I keep going to it just to cheer myself up in those moments. And the way you play, just go and watch it again at any point. Like I said, I'm sorry, I'm hogging it to myself, but I wanted to audition Atticus as well. When I heard what Ernie did,
can we hear your Atticus? Like, what does your Atticus sound
like? That is Atticus. It's great.
Jeremy, what does your Atticus sound like?
Sorry?
What does your Atticus sound like?
My Atticus? I wouldn't dare.
No,
He probably, I think I did in Welsh, because we got Welsh people in our family, so, you know, I think I was more Pembrokeshire Atticus, Royal Pembrokeshire, but you possibly brought more American cardigan to it.
I really didn't get that deep into it.
But I digress.
I'm glad I got the job, but
Oh, and like, this feels very much like it comes from a deeply personal space. How much of yourself have you poured into Infinity Train?
Oh, zero. It's all surface.
Hi.
I mean, you know, it's a pretty personal. I mean, I came up with it in like 2010, so it's just been a very long process to get here in the first place. So I had to have a certain amount of passion for what Tulip was going through and what's going on.
I mean, speaking of surface, you go pretty deep into those Minnesota references. Minnesota, anybody?
Who's going to State Fair? Yeah, right.
Go ahead. No, sorry.
Sorry, yeah, no, there was a point when I was like, I don't know, maybe she can be from like Michigan or something. You know, it can't be just where I'm from. That's crazy. And Maddie was like, why? And I was like, yeah, I guess that makes sense. Make her from Minnesota. That makes sense.
Actually, without spoiling anything about, the series, how can we expect to see Tulip really like grow and evolve over there?
She grows to 6 feet tall. Yeah. That's how much she grows.
6 feet even? 6 feet even.
I didn't even choose like an exaggerated number. Like you could be 6 feet tall.
Just exactly 6 feet. I don't want to. You guys can watch it. You guys can watch it, and you'll have a good time. I promise.
Okay. Yeah. You'll have to watch and find out. I think we have a little bit of time for Q&A. If anyone has any questions, any burning, pressing questions that they want to ask about Infinity Train.
Why they get a spotlight? You have a question.
Oh, we get a.
Sorry. No.
Oh, no, we can't hear you.
Hello.
Oh, there you go.
There we go. First of all, I just want to say I've waited 3 years for this to happen, so I'm happy it's finally happening.
Thank you.
So, Owen, you were kind of talking about Myst and other kind of video games that kind of inspired this. So I was curious of everyone on the panel, what were some of the games that you maybe played now or when you were younger? Yeah.
More recently, I played all the Zero Escape games, like 999 and all 3 back to back. I marathoned them, and that I think had a lot of influence on like what kind of stuff might happen in train cars, puzzles, that sort of thing. Yeah.
I don't play any games. Sorry.
The only game I ever played was Tetris, and I got so obsessed with it, I just. So it actually, I realized that I could just get so lost in it that I'm afraid of games, actually.
I am actually still playing through Red Dead. Love it. And I'm still playing through Mario Odyssey. I I'm so close to being done with that. Just trying to get all the dang power moons. And I also just finished this game on my iPad that's so good called Hidden Folks. And it's kind of, have any of you guys ever heard of it?
I'm writing it down.
Okay. It's really good. I don't know them, but I think you should go download it because it's really amazing. The artwork is so good, and it's kind of like a Where's Waldo, but like you get clues of a, it's like a campsite, and then it says, go find I don't know, a sock that's a really terrible example. It's a great game. So that's my. Playing video games is kind of my preferred choice of entertainment.
Overall, feels very puzzly up here. I've been to Baba Is You lately. That's a good one. Sounds like puzzle games.
Yeah, puzzlers.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, I was wondering, what is your favorite train car that we have to look forward to?
All of them.
You could say
I guess my favorite is the ball pit car. I can hear my writer laughing over there. I'll say that one. Yeah, I'll go ball pit car.
You may have seen the train going around San Diego, but the Crystal car, I think that'll be a good one.
The universal fart car just can't be eclipsed, really. What could be greater?
Aside from does anything happen on the fart car aside from farts? Or is it really just a car?
No, it's just farts. It's a white Reupload fart. That's what it's called. Fart car.
I wasn't sure if fart was an acronym. Maybe there was like a hidden message, just farts.
Flatulent, other cars.
I mean, that's a part of the journey is figuring out what the cars are, because sometimes when you get in them, you don't exactly know
how they're gonna go.
In a way,
There are questions to answer.
sorry, I'm jumping.
But I actually was going to say the fart car because it's
Speaks to everyone.
a pretty quick.
There's an entire episode
Because
where we just
farts
hang
are
out in the
hilarious.
I was going to say some of the excitement for me has not actually been the cars, which are extraordinary, and each one keeps happily surprising you. It's almost the transitions between them and what it takes to go there, to escape the one, to get to the next, and what the hell are you in, out of the frying pan into the fire often, and it's those parts of the story that I've often been sometimes more fascinated with. It's the transitions.
It's not the destination, man. It's the journey.
Journey. I know for me, when you record cartoons and sometimes you get the scripts beforehand, sometimes you don't. But with this one, whenever you guys would send the scripts, I was ravenous for them because they were just so good. Like I'm so excited.
It's gonna be a good time.
Any other questions?
Hello, my name is Maxwell. I want to say all of you are amazing. My question is, when the pilot dropped on YouTube, were you expecting to be as big so that it will become an actual TV show?
No. I was like, cool, maybe there's gonna be like a couple thousand views, that'll be neat. And like that was it. And then it kind of blew up a little bit. And that was also neat. It was really unexpected, the amount of feedback that it got. And I am very thankful for the amount of feedback that it got because I'm 100% certain that that's what helped us get the show in the first place. So you guys helped us have that happen.
Good job.
Thank you so much.
I would just like to chip in on that. I wondered what took so long because I think most of us as artists, certainly speak for myself, I thought first reading it, that same connection, I thought, this just has to be out there. Had that kind of instinctive, visceral connection with it, and the pleasure of that first pilot where we worked as an ensemble in the recording studio, although later we've had to be in separate studios. That connects, that feeling still connects, and I thought this is inspired. It wasn't even a thought, it was just that sense you get. This is inspired, it's going to inspire other people. The love we had for it then and continue to should overflow. I'm available tomorrow. Does it have to be this long? Understanding what care has been taken about that production. I was just knocked out before we came on, seeing just how exciting and beautifully the artwork and the soundtrack all comes together.
Oh, the music is so good.
Isn't it?
Did you guys talk about the music?
No, it's Chrome Canyon. He's great.
Oh, so good.
Check out his album, Elemental Themes.
Okay, we got time for one more quick question.
Hi. During the production of the pilot, did you already have an endpoint for the story in your mind? And if not then, how about now?
Roughly. I had a rough idea of how I wanted the show to go. Things changed a little bit from the pilot, here and there, but it's pretty close to whatever it was I was originally thinking. It's pretty. I mean, I can't think of it any other way than what it became now. So like it started the way I hoped it would. It has a conclusion the way I hoped it would. Like everything feels very contained and it works. And I was really thankful that Cartoon Network gave us like the freedom that we were able to have with it, because every time we were sort of like, we want to go this direction. They're like, yeah, okay. And they let us like do things that I think most cartoons, especially cartoons aimed at kids and stuff, don't really get to do. And so we had a lot more freedom, I think, than most shows get. I'm very thankful for that.
Someone earlier asked a question about what other cars they might be seeing on the train, and while no one on the panel wanted to answer the question, we have something to show you that gives you a little glimpse of what more there is to see. You guys ready?
Oh, did I just hallucinate a train station? This is the train? Wow! This is so cool! I'm on a big train, like a really weird big train.
Feels wild and unpredictable.
Where is the passenger?
I'm getting off this train.
I'm going off the rails on a crazy train.
Infinity Train, a 5-night special event, starts Monday, August 5th at 7:30.
Thank you guys so much for coming. Again, Infinity Train will premiere a 5-night event beginning August 5th at 7:30 on Cartoon Network. You guys have a fantastic con.